Hey guys, I guess it's time for me to get back to work, right? So here I am back at work. I've been working with some young guys, some kids lately, some babies actually. And so I just wanted to share some of the great things that you can do with your babies or your infants or your toddlers to really get a jump on brain training. And so one of the really big things that you can do is called attention training. And in this day and age, it's really so important because they see us walking around with our phones. And so what do we think? Oh, they want a baby phone. It's so cute for the baby to play on the baby phone. But the truth is, what we need to be doing is giving them things that help build their attention because they're going to need that later to be able to focus, to be able to attend in school, to be able to read a book, to be able to have a conversation. I mean, we all know how difficult it is sometimes to be in command of our own attention, right? So this is how you start with a little guy. So what I was doing with this young one that I was working with the other day is I just had a box of blocks. And I could put a little picture of the video over there for you. But the box of blocks basically, instead of dumping them out all on the floor for him to play with and just be bored in about 5 minutes, what I did is I sat with him. Now remember, my job is facilitator. My job is not entertainer. My job is facilitator. So I'm actually sitting behind him because he's only, starting to sit by himself anyway. So this way, if he falls backwards, he naturally has a safe zone. So I'm actually just sitting on the ground behind him. My hands can still reach the toys, but his eyes and everything are focused on that stuff in front of him, not me. And so I sat down in front of him the little box that had about 9 blocks in it. And they're just plastic texture, blocks. And I put the box there too so he could play with the box, so he could open and close the box. And so I showed him the first time, I'm the facilitator, I'm the one who's kind of giving direction. So I showed him the first time how to open and close the box, and he sat there and opened and closed the box for a while, just 5-10 minutes just playing with the box. And then he wanted to reach and try to reach and grab, which is another fine motor skill, right? So you want to encourage that. So he spent as long as he wanted to trying to reach and grab, right? And I just sat behind him. I didn't say anything. I just let him investigate on his own. This is how he builds his own attention and his own ability to do these things. So I just facilitate. And once I saw that he was kind of getting done with that, then I put the blocks back in it and I popped it. I shook it. I opened and closed the lid again and I set it down in front of him. And then he started doing all those things. So now he's like, oh, there's more things I can do with this. So then he did them. Then he decided he would just dump the box out. And he'd just start playing with the box. Like he'd turn the box upside down, investigating, shaking the lid, doing all those fun things, right? Because that's what kids do. That's how they learn. So then I let him do that for a little while. And then I put all the blocks back in it while he's watching, and I stacked them all on top of each other. And of course, he doesn't have that dexterity yet, but he can knock them down. So I just stacked them up again. And he knocked them down, and we did that a few times until he got bored with that. But basically, he was able to sit there. This is, 6-month-old, able to sit there and play with this one box of blocks for at least an hour. Nothing else. I didn't have to change toys every 5 minutes and keep him entertained. Entertained doesn't work for the brain, right? Entertained is an alpha brain state. We want more. We want beta. We want all of this brain states. We want him to really be thinking and using that frontal lobe and building it. So we want him exploring. We want him investigating. We want to let him play with things. And like I said, just facilitate. Don't jump in and entertain. Just sit back and let him play with it for 45 minutes if he wants to. It's not harming him in any way to play with one toy. There was a child sitting here playing with a hairbrush. There you go. For 45 minutes. Figuring out what it does, turning it every way, smacking himself in the head with it, sucking on it. It's okay. That's investigation. Their brain is growing. You want that. So that's what I did the other day with just that one toy. But could you do that with anything? Yes. With everything? Yes. I had a little bag full of textured balls today to play with. Same thing. I didn't dump them all out in front of him. I just unzipped it, opened it, let him figure out what he wanted to do with it from there, And then as he got tired with one direction, then I would show him another direction he could go with it, and then sit back and let him have the reins. So that's a great way to build attention in babies and toddlers. And now's the time to begin. You want to start now and continue it through their entire life so that you'll have a little 5-year-old sitting on your lap who wants you to read them an entire book, right? An entire story. And they're going to be able to sit through it. Because with television and computers and phones and those games that we play on them, they're all built, even the baby toys. Have you noticed how the baby toys are so irritating now? Like they literally, the baby stops doing something with it. It triggers him to come back. It does something different. It's trying to get his attention. It's technically trying to do the attention training. It's trying to pull him back in. But instead, it's stimulating him in another way again. So we're teaching them in the old-fashioned way to lengthen their attention span. And that's never going to be a bad thing.